Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Hey, thank you for joining us right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, and of course YouTube, fired up and ready to rock. You know what the big thing on YouTube is now, Steve?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to.
Yes, YouTube Shorts. You see, now you got to do the little...
Like the shorts you and I wore in the 70s, or we're doing short, those shorts?
No, but that would make a good short to show you in shorts. But the little short things that come up on people's timelines. So you do 60 seconds,
I saw
30
that.
seconds.
Okay, so
yeah.
is this to compete with TikTok? Is that the idea?
That was the idea, I think, with YouTube doing
Well,
that.
how do you post a short? Do I say this is a short?
No, you just post something, silly.
So post a video.
Right, like you would give, for us, maybe we talk about a marketing minute. One of the easiest ways to do blah, blah, blah is to do this.
I've been watching them with golf things. I see
and
them.
golf, yeah, right, like a swing.
So I've been
or
seeing those things, but I didn't know it had a category.
Yeah, and that's the quickest way, they say, to build audience on YouTube and all that. So we'll have to get, Brad in there to do some shorts.
Let's do it.
Chop up little short things.
I like it.
Little tips, like, chew your food before you swallow it. Stuff like that.
What could happen?
Anyway, you can find us on YouTube under Zoey Advertising, obviously. Look up Zoey Advertising and you can see the show.
Like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Well, right now, it's our pleasure to bring back somebody that I think the last time we spoke to this young man, it was like middle of COVID or something.
Yeah, we were on
like
lockdown.
That. Yeah, something like that. Attorney David Snyder. He's the owner of Snyder Law Firm. How are you, David?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, it's good to have you. Tell us a little. Are you a Syracuse native?
I am not.
No.
I'm originally
Leave right now.
Yeah.
You are out of here.
Happy on the show.
When it's freezing cold, I regret it a little bit. I'm from Arizona originally.
Oh, wow.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Phoenix?
I grew up in Tucson and went to high school in Phoenix and then back to college at the University of Arizona.
Wow.
So,
Very little known fact, Tom.
Yes.
I was born at
yeah.
Hospital of the Good Samaritan in Phoenix.
Oh, wow. That's my cousins were almost all born there.
Yeah.
Three of them were born there.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And the fourth one is in long labor. They're still waiting?
Yeah, still waiting. One of these days.
What do we have to do to get Arizona to take him back?
That's they're open though. They'll take anyone. So
yeah, you walk right across the border. It's real easy. Boom. Sorry.
That's funny. So where did you end up going to law school?
I came to Syracuse.
Okay.
There we go.
So
yes.
I had applied to a bunch of different schools, and I had been accepted to a couple schools when I finally got a brochure for Syracuse. And I saw it, and I hadn't been on my radar really.
Yeah.
And I looked at the brochure. I said, "Wow, this looks really nice." And I was familiar with the basketball team. I was a big college basketball fan, University of Arizona Wildcats.
Sure.
And so I was like, I'll apply. And they accepted me within a week. It was a very fast turnaround. And then the next day I got a scholarship offer.
Oh,
so after that, everyone else who was coming in, I said, "Well, are you offering me anything?"
No, that's a great question.
Yeah. Did you have was Dean Braveman up there when you were
Dean
there?
Braveman was up there. Yeah.
Okay.
The great Dean Braveman.
My mother was the admin there for all through the 80s when I went up to SU.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat.
The dean was instrumental to expanding the school, and he did a great job, and we were very lucky to have him.
Wonderful.
So why law?
I thought I was going to be a doctor, originally. I was pre-med.
Really?
And, I have a biology degree, and
you're like smart.
So I thought that was the direction I was going, and I think you go further along in those classes.
You realized you didn't care about people, or what?
Well,
happened?
no, I love people, but I can't sit there and study for organic chemistry. That's the separator, and
okay.
I was good at biochemistry. I mean, classes that were harder than that, but
still, a law you have to,
it's a little different though. I think that the discipline for just memorizing things is different in law.
Okay.
So I mean that is a misconception. You were talking about that earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Lawyers don't know everything in the law. There's millions of pages of law out there, and you can't possibly know that, and you have to be willing to learn that. And it's a
so you
continuous learning
honed down
process.
into a niche. Tell us about that.
Well, I thought I was going to do several different careers throughout my my career. Yeah. I thought I was going to be a environmental lawyer, with a biology background, and then I went into medical malpractice.
Oh yeah, well that's related.
And so I still do that a little bit, but workers' compensation and personal injury is where I ended up, practicing mostly.
So why do personal injury attorneys and malpractice attorneys get a bad rap? What's the deal with it?
Did they earn it?
I certainly don't think all of them earned it. I think there's a huge negative connotation to attorneys who are advertising on everywhere. You see the the billboards up.
That might not be fair, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think there's there's different ways of handling that, and I think that there is a certain amount of jealousy amongst different people overseeing people's success and that kind of thing, and there's but
maybe it's the way they approach it. The whole hammering and smashing and
correct.
We'll crush you.
That's right. And I think there's the tort reform lobby has really pushed to make it seem that lawyers are driving up the cost of healthcare and things like that.
Oh, I see.
And really, that's not the case. The cost of medical malpractice lawsuits is it's certainly less than 2% of total healthcare, might be less than 1%. But that amount, is actually improving healthcare. That's really the way I view that kind of thing.
And with all the people in the personal injury space, why do people do business with you?
Well, we are available, and we actually meet with our clients. There's a lot of attorneys who never meet with their clients.
So maybe they're so big they have a process. Sign here.
I see.
Maybe a paralegal. Do this. We'll do it. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah,
exactly. And I don't know any of them, but is that fair?
That's right. Yeah.
So
or you're dealing with a paralegal only.
Okay. So if someone calls you, what happens?
You're going to you'll talk to a secretary initially, and then as soon as they realize that that's a case that we can handle, you're talking to an attorney. So there's 3 of us now, and hopefully 4 soon.
Wow.
And that's we really don't have paralegals who are interrupting, especially in the intake process. And
so it's to an attorney. So there's less layers.
There's less layers. That's right.
And do you have a little more integrity than most? Do you push the integrity part of it?
I like to believe I do. I'm not a guy who's doing things at the expense of my client. I try to be as efficient as possible, and there's some people who are not as conscientious about the kinds of expenses that they take on for their clients, and I just don't take that view.
Do you vet people? In other words, if somebody came to you and said, geez, I want to sue this person, and do you go through the whole vetting process? Would you take somebody who was a little unscrupulous?
No, I probably turned down more cases than I certainly turned down more cases than I accept with respect to personal injury cases. Workers' comp isn't quite like that, but there are certainly a lot of people out there who are trying to use the system or take advantage of the system in some way, and you can tell pretty quickly who's who.
So if it's workman's comp, which my perception is, if you don't use an attorney, you need to use an attorney for that. Workman's comp or personal injury, is the 451-3040 number the right number?
That's the right number.
So if they wanted to just ask a question or have a conversation, they can do that, right?
Anytime.
You don't charge for that.
No, we do not.
Okay, 451-3040. And the email, the website feels a little cryptic here. SNYDERIF.
That's LF, as in law firm abbreviated.
Look at that. We're abbreviating. So that's an L, Tom.
So,
that's
Snyder.
not an I.
L,
so
right.
Snyder Law firm.
You got it.
All right.
Very nice. Attorney David Snyder right there, owner of the Snyder Law Firm. Give them a call and just have a conversation and see all that they do. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, you have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Next up, we're going to talk with Natasha Schmidt. She's the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York. Stick around for that conversation right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.